All right, 7 o'clock. I'll call the meeting to order. Any agenda additions? Hearing any, just want to move to adopt the agenda.
I'll make the motion to adopt.
All in favor? Carried. I'd like to welcome our guest, Jackie Seeley from Stars.
Thank
Welcome
you.
again.
Very nice to be back again.
Mike Worthington, sir, new counselor here that you haven't met
Okay,
yet. So
okay. I was thinking, I don't remember this.
You remember everybody else's name?
Larry Casey,
Larry,
Oh,
okay.
you're supposed to tell her. She's supposed to tell her.
Richard Brown.
Great to see you guys again.
Yeah, it's good to see you. And I'm Martin.
Yeah. Okay, well, always a pleasure to come out to those small villages to give an update from Stars. It's a really busy area out here. So this year we'll be celebrating 40 years of serving Albertans. Our birthday's on December 1st, actually.
Oh.
So that's pretty exciting. And as a charitable organization, we've managed to continue to provide this service at no cost to the patient. So thankfully, on the next page here, we were able to secure another 10-year service agreement with Alberta Health Services, our largest donor. So that is at the $15 million per year in block funding, just like we were receiving since 2021. And after that, we still must fundraise 56% of the budget. So that's around 19 million. So that comes from business, corporate, individual donations, the municipal initiative, community-driven fundraisers across the province, and then also our largest fundraiser, the Stars Lottery, that brings in over 10 million. So that almost pays for one base in Alberta. The Stars Lottery tickets are now available online, and that'll be on sale until March 27th. So yes, it is very much a united effort of many different people and organizations to keep Stars going. Just a quick look at a year in review, our fiscal year ending March 31st, 2024. I'm not going to go over this whole thing, but there's just a few things I want to point out on the second row. So previously, our Emergency Link Center, our dispatch center in Calgary, previously they were receiving around 36,000 emergency requests per year, and that's increased to over 37,000 now. Missions, previously 3,367 missions, now it was over 3,900 missions. And this is across all 6 bases across Western Canada. And then with that, the new assessed base cost is 11.4 million, up from the 10 million previously. On the right-hand side, you'll see what it's kind of interesting to know what we may fly for. And number 1 is vehicle incidents, which in your area, there's a lot of, scene calls and such. So I'm sure you can relate to that. And then next is cardiac. Everything else is listed there for you to review. On the next slide there. So this is another view of our the municipal support that we receive across the province. So we welcomed a number of new municipalities over the last year, a number of them across southern Alberta and a few in central and northern Alberta. Closest to you, I'm trying to think, Village of Morin joined, Town of Nobleford, Champion, Port McLeod, that's getting a little far away. And also in the south, like MD of Tabor, Town of Tabor, Barnwell, etc. So that's nice to have the increased support with the missions and everything else that are on the rise every year. This map, oops, I keep looking at the screen. So the light blue shows municipal support that's under the $2 per capita. And then an ABC of blue across the map, that's showing $2 per capita and up, anywhere up to $90 per capita. And many of these regional leaders, as we refer them to, are at a fixed rate of support to alleviate fluctuations in our budget with census data. and also have us as a line item in their emergency services budget. Regional partnerships, well, you guys are it here in southern Alberta, county of Wheatland, or Wheatland County. Everybody, all the towns and villages, as well as the county are on board with supporting STARS. So you guys get a shout out everywhere we go.
Where do you fly out? Where's your base? In Calgary?
So yeah, we have a base in Calgary, Edmonton, and Grand Prairie. And then also in Saskatchewan, Regina and Saskatoon, and then a base in Winnipeg, Manitoba.
Okay.
Yeah, so even from our Calgary bases, we fly into BC. And we're borderless, which I'll talk a little more about that later. There's a few non-supporters still, but overall, over 90% of Alberta municipalities, rural municipalities, are supporting. STARS is built for the community, by the community, and so it continues to be so after almost 40 years. The mission statistic overview, 5-year mission overview up to October 15th of this year is 205 missions for all of Wheatland County. So on average, 44 missions per year. And then near standard, 6 missions. And I think that you guys mentioned last year that sometimes we landed near Ball Diamond. Yeah. And then, of course, as you can see, a number of scene calls around the whole area. Often I'm driving through here and see the fire department out. We greatly appreciate all the work that the fire department does. And then also a number of the rural residents are typically picked up by ground ambulance and then taken into the Strathmore Hospital. And if deemed critical, then STARS is dispatched. All right, and just a quick recap of the postal code project. On the left-hand side there, you can see a number of blue dots within the Wheatland County boundaries. And so we access postal code information only back to 2010. So patient postal code information. So it's listed by community. How many patients were flown by STARS? So dating back to 2010, there were 8 from Standard and a total of 192 from the entire Wheatland County. 3 patients were picked up in Standard, and 189 of the total Wheatland residents were picked up from 31 other locations in 2 provinces. And oftentimes we'll see that patients have been flown from locations across all 4 provinces, BC, Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. So accidents and injury don't only happen when we're close to home. They happen when we least expect it, unfortunately. All right, so this is basically a mission log that you're looking at here. From
This is new, isn't it?
Yeah, this is new. You've never seen this before. Glenda came up with this from the Emergency Link Center. So first of all, STARS is borderless. We share resources across the provinces. Our helicopters do move around a little bit, as well as our crew members. To date, we've flown over 60,000 missions, and on average, 11 missions per day across all 6 bases. It's pretty busy. And so this is a snapshot of a mission log. And I'm just going to highlight a few of the ones here. For example, mission number 3 was for a NICU patient, so a critically ill baby, where STARS actually transported the NICU team out to the location where the baby was, performed critical care on the baby, and then the baby went by ground ambulance to the hospital. So there's just such innovation, so many different ways that we can provide critical care. And mission number 6, this was a rollover accident, but actually the mission was canceled because there was no patient transport required. After the STARS transport physician spoke further and learned that the patient actually wasn't injured. So sometimes when these situations can be seen, it may look like it was a bad accident, but perhaps it was not. Mission number 7, a workshop explosion. So this STARS was dispatched, but then that mission was also canceled and alternate transport was arranged for that patient that was maybe more suitable for injuries. Like in some cases, say if it's respiratory injury or certain things where air pressure and things can impact the patient, then they will be transported in a different way, like in this case by ground. Mission number 10. This was a motor vehicle collision, pardon me. And our STARS crew member actually hopped in and went with the patient by ground, so they're not able to fly. So just such a variety of things, and it just kind of emphasizes the way that the Emergency Link Center works with all modes of transport and how the crew will move around to make sure that patient gets the critical care that they need. Next slide is, in the past you've seen STARS is very innovative. We've had the night vision goggle capability for over 20 years now. First civilian organization in Canada to be able to fly at night. And then also for over 10 years now, we've carried universal blood on board and increased to 4 units of blood in 2019. In addition to that, like STARS is always continuing to innovate, to come up with new things and better ways to do things to provide the patient with the best chance at survival. So a new blood product called fibrinogen was trialed in Saskatchewan first, was piloted there, and then with success, then they brought it to Alberta. So what this blood product does, if the crew member knows that the patient needs more than 2 units of blood, then they can administer this blood product that helps blood clotting occur to slow down the bleeding. Yeah, so that's just for Stella, because you're new. That's another product carried on board. There's a number of, there's over 70 different pain management drugs on board that the crew was able to access to different types of injuries or, in response to the patient's needs. So this slide, this is our longest mission ever. And actually it happened up in northern BC, as you can see by the map here. So Doug McTavish and his friend were in the rugged, heavily wooded areas in northern BC on a hunting trip. And after they had gone on a boat ride for 5 hours up the river and then hiked up into the mountains, Doug realized he was having a full-blown heart attack. And so they had to stop what they were doing and sit and because there was no cell service in the area, they actually had in-reach radios where they were able to contact somebody in their emergency contacts. And that individual was trying to get help to them to get him out of there. While search and rescue in that area was not available because they didn't have the night vision goggle capability, and it was soon going to be dark. And pardon me. So they said, well, maybe we should give STARS a try. So they phoned in, and the Emergency Link Center says, well, let's just see what kind of arrangements we can make. And so they came up with a plan and dispatched from the Calgary base, or pardon me, the Grand Prairie base. And so from there, they went all the way to Fort Nelson, BC, and they had to refuel. After that, they went to Chi House, where the patient was. And because it was such a heavily wooded area, they had to find a place where there was a break in some trees where they could land the helicopter. Thankfully, Doug and his friend knew that there was an area, recalled that there was an area down by the river that had space where they thought they could land. So the crew, the pilots actually landed in this spot with the tail end of the plane hanging over, or pardon me, the helicopter hanging over the river. All 4 crew members, so we fly with 2 pilots, a flight paramedic and a flight nurse. All of them had to put packs on their back, go across the river, hike up to where Doug was, assess him, and then bring him back down across the river into the helicopter. And so Doug was still all right at this point. And at that point, they had to fly to Watson Lake to refuel, and then back to Fort Nelson for fuel, and then all the way to Grand Prairie. At that point, the crew member stayed with Doug, and he was transported by Alberta Health Services fixed wing and taken all the way to Edmonton. And so Doug is alive and well today to tell his story. There is a VIP video on stars.ca as well, and we'd like to watch it there. So this is our longest mission ever. 2,408 liters of fuel were burned, 1,763 kilometers flown, which is equal distance as it is going from Calgary to Los Angeles. 8.2 hours of flight time and 5.3 hours of patient care. In the end, one life saved. Yeah, so we want to thank you very much, Bill and Cliff Stanner, for your long time and continued support. You're a regional leader at the $2 per capita, so that's $7.60 at a fixed rate. We will come back next year with most likely the same request. So yeah, basically this request this year is the same rate. But we are asking that if you would like to consider moving to a standing motion, which basically, then we wouldn't be coming back next year with the new request. It would just stay at that. Yeah. A life is saved every day, but your partnership has made it possible for a long time.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Are there any questions? Mm-hmm.
Appreciate the service, that's for
Yeah.
sure. I
Well,
never want to have to use it, but
I know
Glad
two
it's
that have
there.
used it out of here.
yeah.
So
Yep.
one young fellow was in Strathmore Hospital from here, and they flew the children's doctors from the children's out to him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So
Yes.
yeah, so
And we're very, fortunate that many of our STARS transport physicians are doctors that from the emergency rooms in Calgary who take shifts with STARS as well.
Oh,
Yeah, so they are seeing these things every day, and yeah,
they volunteer their time when they do that, or
I think they get like a
they get a
honorarium or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's a very important service.
Yeah, and it is really quite busy out in this area with the 44 missions per year.
Yeah.
I'm driving through here quite often because of living in Mazzano and going to Calgary a number of times to see the fire department out, and STARS is probably coming. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
You're very welcome. I do have something special for you guys tonight too. First, the usual, 2 of our Horizons magazines. This has a new VIP, very important patient story in it, as well as a whole bunch of other information. I think these are getting thicker all the time. So one for your office, one for the fire department, along with our thanks and appreciation for what they do, as well as a calendar for each. And this is our 40th anniversary calendar. And so it's a then and now many of our VIP stories, as well as a timeline of some of the STARS history. So it's kind of neat to review that and see when different bases opened and things like that. So I'll leave those with you guys. When they are available for sale online, if you want more than this at stars.ca, click on Get Involved, go down to Shop, and the STARS store is there. And so you can get free shipping if you type in free shipping in the code, the coupon code. And so that's for you. And something extra special in appreciation of our partnership with the Village of Standard is a plaque for your office.
wow.
Thank you.
Yes.
You're very welcome. Is there a chance we might get a photo?
Yeah. That your permission? Do you want to literature?
To them,
Does all
the
council
mayor.
want to be in it?
No, I think we get everybody in it.
Okay, you guys go.
If we
You
get
too, you
everybody-
guys.
Can we get everybody in here?
Great.
It's only fair.
We're gonna run this way, maybe, eh?
3, 2, 1.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Send you a copy.
Let's see where.
Okay.
In the country. In the country.
On the highway somewhere.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Is that our copy of the background, Marty?
Uh,
I think I see my house in the back there.
Is anybody on council on the fire department?
Used to be.
Used to be.
Yeah.
Used to be in Rocky.
Years ago,
You
actually.
guys have done your,
Yeah.
And they're done it with stars.
We did the stars. We did the stars up north here.
Check it out.
Oh, I
By
don't.
Severn Dam.
I bet you I've been on a dozen.
That's the
stars.
one that I was involved in. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you're in the department that had horse and buggy. Hey, no, I was on when he was there too.
And you had horse and buggy as well.
No, I mean, I've been
I know
30
you,
years.
you and I have done about 4 stars landings.
Yeah,
I think that your fire department is visiting the base this weekend.
yes, they are Saturday.
Yeah, so one of my colleagues mentioned that this morning. I said, oh, well, that's great. I'm going to the standard this
It'd
week.
be my
So.
son's girlfriend that set that up.
Oh, yeah, right on. That's great. Well, enjoy your new plaque and
Yeah, thank you.
thank you
That's
very
very
much
nice.
again.
Coming out.
Good to meet you.
Drive safe.
I will.
Very much.
Thank you very much.
Watch
Take
the
care.
guys out there. in the
Yeah.
Yeah.
park.
Yeah, it's starting to get.
Cools off and it gets really slippery.
I'm just gonna go.
Yeah.
Make sure she gets in the car.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, thank you.
Yeah, we don't want to leave the fire still laying out there. Oops. All stars.
Yeah.
Could have brought some sawdust with me and put some sawdust on it there. Yeah.
Did you want to go?
Nothing.
Right.
Well, 7:22.
Public Works and Office Report.
Okay. Public Works, so. Not much happened over the Christmas holiday, so that was good. They did their usual garbage pickup on the Monday instead of Wednesday. So the daily inspection of village infrastructure, drives around the roads, snow removal, sidewalks from the fire hall, back alleys, memory lane. He's been sanding intersections as it gets icy, moving the snow piles to the campground, and general maintenance and repairs. And he's been working on tractor quotes, which we'll present to you after with the budget.
Can I ask a question about snow removal?
Do we want to do
Can I
that?
ask you that?
Yep.
Or is
Or-
that appropriate or what?
Well, I don't know. A bit. Do we do it now or do we do it?
Well, we can do
Our
it now.
Concerns.
We can do it now. Doesn't matter. You sure?
I signed a check for a contractor that was loading snow.
Yeah.
I'm wondering what happened, why were our guys not able to do that?
The snow was it was too heavy to move
With
The
our
snow
truck,
itself.
with our equipment.
with our equipment.
Okay.
Yeah. Where it was placed, it was not accessible. So we tried first with a loader, and they were just slipping on the ice because of rubber tires. So then we had to just bring in a track hoe that had a bucket and could pick it up and take it and move
Okay.
it physically. So, which worked
Just
out. Yeah.
wanted to clarify that.
Yeah.
Right.
So it just worked out well, but,
Yeah.
that's what happened when outside sources came and moved snow and didn't put it in the proper place to start with. So,
Oh, yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about.
so that was
Yeah.
at the campground, not so much at the campground, but over
It
in,
was down in my end of town.
Yeah. it was 1, 2, 3 areas, 4 actually, over there.
Well,
Okay,
and then our tractor isn't big enough to move.
no,
Once it gets piled that big and then it, you know, warms up a little bit, we just can't do nothing.
so now it's out of the
Yeah.
way and hopefully we don't have any more
Well, we
issues.
try to put it in the right spot first time. Then we don't have to move it.
Which was not Public Works.
No, it wasn't
fault.
our guys. No.
Yeah, it wasn't Public Works fault, but it was somebody trying to help out, so. Okay, for the office, as per your instructions on last meeting, we did sign the agreement with Remax for 10% as per your direction. So they agreed, so that's all been done. We've been doing some research for CRIS funding. And now we're just in the process of year-ending the computer and prepare for the in-house audit scheduled for March 4th to 6th. Usually we have it done by the end of January, but because of WRC audit not happening till March, it's easier if everything happens all at the same time so that the auditors don't have to go back and review the whole file again just to get going again with WRC. And then they will present that audit to you at the April 9th council meeting. So they will be attending. And that's about it. Over Christmas, everything was pretty quiet. Nothing happened. There was no incidents or emergencies other than somebody acquired the snake. And that was it. So
Okay.
pretty quiet.
What do you want to move to adopt public works and office reports as presented? Larry, all in favor? Carried. Minutes from December 11th.
I am so sorry. I did not realize they were not in the package, so they are here tonight for you guys to, if you just want to take a few minutes to review. I'm just getting everything ready, going, no minutes, so.
Says storage moved. What was that?
Sorry?
Says storage moved. Was that just the stuff over here that was moved over to the?
Oh. Public Works report.
Yeah, it was just what was in storage over there.
Yes.
Moved over here. That's what I thought. Okay.
Sorry, yeah.
I only see one thing, so, and that is Rob Whitty's last name spelled wrong.
Oh,
No H. On 10.1. Any other? Anything, Larry?
No. A lot went on. That's just good.
Anything? We want to move to adopt
I'll make the motion.
All in favor? Carried.
Can he move that?
Oh, yeah, you can't
He
move
wasn't
that.
here
You
last
weren't
month.
here.
Oh, that's right, sorry.
Yeah, he can't move that. So
Larry.
I'll-
All in favor? Carried. Sorry about that.
Good, good.
You weren't here.
Good, Judge Larry, thank you.
Unfinished business. Esso building,
We'll table that again until,
the table,
yeah,
who wants to move? Richard, all in favor? Carried. Library lease, capital budget, water line break,
again, we are going to, table till the next meeting.
I'll move. All in favor? Carried. Next update.
Okay, so from the last meeting, I reached out to the other villages and they had no information on CRISP funding. Have not received anything. So I went back to Strathmore and asked, Kevin, the CAO, for some information, on their funding. So he sent me a couple of the, Strathmore Times advertisings on what happened with electric funding. There is something out there, but according to the last one, which is the Community Facilities Funding Grant Program, I don't believe that the village falls in under this category. With certain hamlets.
You're up here.
Yeah. So,
All their
has anybody heard any other information that could be? And he will, if he finds any other information, he will relay it. No.
Did you reach out to the CAO of Wheeland?
No, not as of yet.
Okay.
That would be my next.
Well, I think that should be done at a regional partnership meeting. Because it's everybody it affects, right? Not just us.
Yeah, and the CAO of Strathmore is going to try set up a meeting, but it won't be until probably the end of February to get a group organization going, right? Like a
Because this affects every municipality, not just us, right? So
right.
if we were to do it either together in a letter from Hazard, Strathmore, Rocky Ford, us, to the county asking the question, with everybody signing it, just asking the question, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So what we can do is just accept this as information
Okay.
and do more research
Okay.
is all we can do at this point, right? This is, yeah, just information.
So just to make sure I'm on the right page here,
Mhm.
these are all the little, these are all the hamlets
Mhm.
that Wheeland County is going to be giving funds to?
No, they can apply for.
Oh, they can apply.
Scroll down a little bit, Jen.
So that's a list of people who can apply for it,
Are invited to apply.
okay?
Right.
Yeah.
Why are there no villages on there?
Because those are all county ran.
Yeah. Those are all county hamlets.
They're all ran by the county, every one of
Okay.
them, where we are not. So they're not including anybody that's not part of the county.
And that's what that question would raise.
Why is that? Why do you think that is?
I don't want to say.
Okay.
I don't want to say. I just think that we need to, the five of us, need to get together and have a conversation.
5 municipalities.
Rocky Ford, Hazard, Standard, Strathmore, and the county. But if Kevin Scoble from Strathmore is trying to get a meeting, then I think that's the way we do it. If he can get him to come to the meeting.
Well, they're required by law to distribute this cash. The CAOs operate under that law.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think maybe the CAO should just send a letter.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, why wouldn't we just phone and say, hey, we're looking for our CRISP funding application forms for this year, send them over so we can get our funds. Like, I think we
We could
just
do-
play it like it's, that's
Well,
what.
you can
We
phone
could
and
try
ask.
a more direct approach and
Yeah,
see what
totally.
happens.
Sure. Yeah,
Okay,
totally.
so
Makes sense.
yeah. Um. So we can accept his information and direct administration to contact
Yeah.
the Wheatland County CAO.
Yeah.
Okay,
I can move that.
I'll move that.
okay.
All in favor? Carried. Insurance update.
So at the last meeting, we talked about how the insurance was going to be costing the Ag Society quite a bit more, the declared value and assessment. So I did some research, and every time a valuation came up, the very next year, the insurance for the Ag Society almost doubled. Then it comes down a little bit, and then a valuation will happen again, poof, it'll go back up again. So unfortunately, though, it is going to be extremely high for them this year. We're looking at probably $20,000.
What was it before?
Last year, it was $11,903.74.
So 9,000, maybe $9,000 basically.
And unfortunately, we will not know the final costs until the beginning of February is the notice that I received today, yesterday about insurance.
And that is through
AMSC.
30 MSC.
Yeah. And they anticipate our 2024 to go up 5 to 8%. Yeah, so, but we'll know
Well, and
beginning of February. By the next meeting, we'll
We
know what
are-
the insurance is.
yeah, and there's nothing we can do about it.
And that's the insurance on all of our owned properties.
Curling rink, eggs, the arena,
Library.
library,
Village
buildings, this
office,
building, the
yeah.
fire hall. What did I calculate? It was gonna be about 50,000.
Yep.
Memory lane.
Memory lane, the
Gazebo.
gazebo, the picnic
shelter.
shelter,
The vanishing station.
that's all insured.
So the village is covering that with our insurance?
Our insurance covers all village-owned property
Right, okay.
and buildings and memorabilia, I guess you could
Right,
call it,
Okay,
right?
yeah.
Um,
Is there no insurance on those buildings now?
yes, there is.
There
Yeah,
is. Okay.
everything is insured.
And we put that on there, or did Memory Lane?
We do. No, we
Okay.
have to.
All
Yeah,
right.
that's a village. And there's no way for them to get their own insurance. It's just not, it will not happen.
But Mike, it's probably extremely expensive, being a society, right?
Like they insure their own contents. We
Right.
don't do that, but we do the building.
Okay,
Right.
that makes sense.
So, but the valuation on the arena doubled. Right? So, and they use the 2024. Hang on a second, she says, 2024 data and rates to determine the cost on appraised building.
Can we phone and question them at all? And say we think they're out to lunch?
Yeah, we have. And again, like I said, she emailed back that, because I said, okay, when was the last valuation done? Well, it was done. But like I said, they used the 2024 data and rates to determine the cost on the appraised building. Next valuation will be in 5 to 6 years. What else can she say? Yeah.
So did you?
It's just a pattern, because like I said, I did the history on it. The last valuation was done in 2012 and 13, it doubled.
So have you talked to Liz and Hazar about what they've done over there?
No, I haven't.
So their little village office
Mhm.
raised 600,000. You've been in their village
In
office,
Bizarre?
yes.
Yeah.
You should phone and have a conversation with her, because when I heard that today, I thought that's
Yeah.
ridiculous. It's an old Quonset, probably built in 1950. It used to be the old fire hall.
But to replace it
That
though,
would be replaced.
Yeah, but they wouldn't replace that whole Quonset. At least we wouldn't if it was here. You'd build a, I don't, you just talk
Yeah.
with,
Okay.
I find it absolutely ridiculous. What
Could we get another company to look into it, giving us a price? Instead of just going with the one.
well, who
It's
does,
gotta be a competitive business.
My only concern is, as you said, though, that's what they quoted and we're stuck paying it, which I feel is kind of, they could basically quote any number, and I don't think it's fair that we're obligated, as Larry said, we should be able to look and see if we can find somebody else.
there's not many people that do municipal
that's
insurance.
the problem.
Where are they based on?
Basically through
Edmonton,
AUMA, right?
That was it.
Province wide, yeah.
Okay.
Everybody, yeah, like Yvette says, they don't want to do municipal. Because if we were to go down and talk to Brett and have him, nobody would take our stuff on one of his companies that he deals with.
The only thing.
So they have a monopoly, is what you're saying, they can charge whatever they want.
You could go, if you had an independent valuation done. And they came back and said it was this, which would be half, then you could sign that declared form and say, no, we're only going to declare this value. And it goes on the books, so if something ever happens, that's all you're going to get for it.
What would that cost us?
Well,
Do
we
know
had
anybody that could do it?
the evaluation of the school done, and that cost us $3,500.
So we've had the evaluation done on all of our buildings
They do
They
the
did.
evaluation.
by them.
Yes,
Do you have numbers there for what they say the buildings are worth?
yes.
Could you tell me what they are?
Well,
Maybe they're out to lunch on that.
well, no, that's the whole point, is they've done the valuation. If you want to, say, counter that, you would have to hire somebody to do the valuation.
Okay. Yeah, we couldn't say, no, we think it's worth this amount. If you
That's
said
right.
$1 million, we think we can do it for 700.
Yes,
We'd have to have independent
We'd have to have
valuation.
yeah.
Well, it would be interesting to know
Yeah.
what they evaluated us at. I can look at that later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, not much we can do about it. We can't not have insurance.
Yeah, they got us by that.
But the problem, like I said, doing valuations every 5 years, it just doubles, right?
Yeah.
Because that's how long
Well, evaluations and everything,
the costs have increased so much.
they've gone up crazy since COVID too.
Yeah, for sure.
Everything's gone nuts since COVID.
So
Yeah.
what do you wanna move to what?
Well, accept this as information and continue to research, right?
Sure.
So.
When is
Unfortunately,
our
Christmas
insurance due?
holidays, there wasn't much research done, sorry.
When is our new insurance policies due?
Always January 1st, but we are always
Okay.
covered. We don't get the renewal invoice until probably about February. So,
Okay.
All right, so we wanna move to accept his information.
I'll make that motion.
All in favor? Carried. 8760 tender, move to table.
yeah, we're just gonna keep it on the
Okay,
agenda.
I'll move to table. All in favor? Carried. Financial reports.
Okay, so again, sorry that these were not available in the package for you to review ahead of time, but they are there today, so if you want to have a look. Marlis was in yesterday with me all day. We did a lot of journal entries, so the BVR is more accurate. It's still waiting for some journal entries, which require me to transfer in reserves, but I won't know, I can't do that until I know the actual costs, the expense that we have. But all your reserves have been transferred, all your funds have been transferred to reserves now. What else?
Where are the reserves totals? bid on?
Okay, these are your reserves right here
Okay,
on your financial statement, so,
right, so
Yeah.
fire truck reserve 133.
Yeah.
General reserves of 3,000. What's the general reserve?
that is, it was a building reserve, right?
building, okay.
We had put money aside to do the roof,
The
and then
roof
we
on this
never
building.
spent all of it.
Okay,
So we have moved some into our budget, but this is what's
Okay.
left over at December 31st.
okay,
And it could change if we don't end up using all of it, then that number may go back up again. We're only allowed to use as much as we expended
oh, yeah,
reserves, right?
yeah, that's,
So,
so the large tractor, we're at 3,000,
30.
30,000, yeah.
Yeah.
Garbage truck and sidewalk repairs. Disaster, sewer dredging.
So now these reserves you have, Arts Council has put specific, how do you say it?
Funds is. Items.
Items, yes, thank you, to that dollar amount.
Okay, yeah.
They can be changed. All it requires is a motion, okay?
When is the garbage truck due for replacement?
Never.
It's not gonna be replaced while we're sitting here. The old one we had for how many years? It doesn't put many miles on the year, right?
Yeah,
So.
Jen and
it's
I
not
discussed
hard
it.
to-
So this is just a reserve for when it does come.
yeah.
Yeah, that's fairly new, isn't it, that truck?
In 2012?
14, I think it was.
So it's 10 years old.
Yeah,
I'll probably make it 10 more, maybe.
Oh,
I bet you the amount of miles it
It's
has a
got
year, I
more
bet you it
miles.
makes another 20 years.
Yeah, maybe.
yeah,
As long as it's maintained well, right? And that's
it is.
the amount of miles, because what does it put on a year, do you know? Not off the top of your head.
No.
Not a
Hardly
lot.
anything.
And it's only used for,
Just garbage and then
o-
trees.
only used for village business, correct?
Mm.
Yeah, it doesn't go down the road anywhere, out to the dump.
Mhm.
It has never, I can probably count on one hand how many times it's left the village.
Does it move snow?
Sometimes
It's not really big enough to move snow is the problem, right? It has, but. Yeah, hey,
So you bank reconciliation on the other side.
We did get on municipal revenue, 670 over 647. Is that due to
Lot sales,
lot sales?
there is no, grant funding. There was 20,000 in grant funding. That was, for various, Alberta days, the Echo trees and the
Fortis trees.
Fortis. Yeah, and the Echo grant, that's all in there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if there's 20,
20,000, yeah, 20,000.
so it wouldn't include the lots then.
No, yeah, not that budget, no, sorry. Well, there is a change, in working with Marlis yesterday, we discovered that, he had a budget, amount in a, is a 762, which is a transfer account, so the whole budget and the expenses got moved into a, 250, which is a contract maintenance account.
Yep.
So if you see that in a previous BVR to this one.
The stars thing here on page 3, 760, is that paid in one lump sum or do you pay a little bit every month?
One lump sum.
Okay.
All our requisitions, we usually pay
Mhm.
one lump sum.
Okay.
Probably our cheapest requisition.
Yes, that's a good one.
And it still floors me how some places are not contributing. I just,
Well, you know, when you think about it, I mean, we've been out here once in 2023 for $760.
yeah,
I mean, everybody goes, whoa, that's a lot.
yeah,
When you think about it,
no, it isn't.
when you put a price on the life,
If you were that family, you'd pay
One
that.
trip, they'll blow that one trip.
the blow it starting that up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's
One ambulance ride.
we're doing our part. We're doing our due
$385.
diligence.
It's a very tight budget, this one, very tight. There is some that are, we know we have over expenses, especially in water. We had a water line break, we had the
Mhm.
hydrant
Yeah,
replacement, we had, 9th Avenue water and sewer had to be installed, so.
So we something that's unexpected.
So at the next BVR, this should be all sorted out, because we have one more AP, which will pay for the last of December's expenses.
Is this correct on the firefighting preventative services? We're over budget by 35,000.
Yeah, this one here,
51.
that is donations that they receive for their fire truck. So that's why I see sometimes these numbers.
Oh, so
skewed.
this is a revenue.
That one is, no, we paid it out. So it is a revenue on the other side. You may not see it.
comes
This-
in and then it goes back
Yeah.
out. Then
Does it show up on the revenue side?
I didn't see it on the revenue side.
Three, it'll be,
Firefighting services. I
no,
just
that
see
one doesn't show up on that
expenses.
side, yeah. Yeah. It's typically, we don't, it's where it got expensed out of, right? So. I just have to make the report show that it's not there, so. It goes in, it goes out, or I put it in on the inside too.
so that was donations to the fire truck.
Yeah, they did very well.
Well, there was, oh, you're probably gonna be getting another one. I'm just trying to come in here and donate during the, while you were closed.
I got one,
Oh, did you?
yeah. Just we can't receive anything until we get the year end done.
Yeah.
What's the total of the debenture on the subdivision? What's left the principal on it? Is that
That one, you won't see that. It is not till 2000 and.
Like 30 something.
Down here,
32? No, the debenture.
Venture.
yeah, that's
When is it done being paid?
No, what's the capital, what's the total owing?
Yeah.
Oh, you won't see it on there. That's just what you paid this year.
Right
What
here,
you-
right, yeah.
Yeah,
Do we know the balance of it, the current balance?
yeah, I have to go get that for you.
Okay,
Would you like that for the next meeting?
sure,
Okay.
yeah. This is part of
It's a
our
lot.
balance sheet.
Right.
That would be a debt.
It's gonna
If
probably
I'm not
close.
mistaken, we
Liability.
might be halfway there. It's not nice. It's
No.
not pretty.
What was that for? That
The
Subdivision.
subdivision,
subdivision?
yeah.
When was that done? 2005.
18 years ago. Wasn't it? Did we have figured it was 18 years ago?
2007 or 8. 2007 or 8.
I think it was 18 years ago.
So how much, just ballpark it, what do you think's left out? Do you have any
I'll
idea?
get it for you.
Are you ready?
I'd like to know that.
You might not want to know.
Your taxes are gonna go up.
Power tax.
No, it's your subdivision.
And she says sign
It's
we
gonna
close.
just stay as it is. None of us will be sitting here when it's paid off.
It's got a little ways to go.
We
Bet
are
you're
at
probably 20
30
years.
of 60 payments. Due in 2039.
What's the balance?
Oh, I'm gonna say just about $1 million.
Opening balance,
Mhm.
$487,000. So it would, initially would have been $1 million, right? Because this would be the opening balance.
These are two different payments that come out. So these are two different loans.
Oh, two different loans. $70 million.
Or, yeah, $500,000. Okay, sorry. These are the, so this is 30 of 60.
So we're halfway through paying.
Mhm.
After 18 years.
Yeah, 2039 is the final payment.
Another 15 years.
Yeah.
So it's
And there is no way you can't even pay it out right now because you're going to pay all the interest. So you may as well, you just got to keep going with the
Yeah.
with the payment.
Yeah, there's no way to reduce it. Some big amount.
Mhm.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Eva.
No problem.
Any other questions?
So you said this will be, you'll have 100% correct, you'll be confident in this by next meeting.
Yes, because all the final payments will have to be done by the end of this month for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay, cool.
So, because we have to, there's only, we're still waiting on WRC, which is one last payment. Was 2024, and then there's also receivables that go to 2024. And a couple other.
When there's like negatives here,
These are adjusting entries that we did, right?
adjusting
Yeah.
entries.
Yeah. So we've taken something out of that account and moved it to another one now.
Okay.
Yeah. But if you look at the very last page, you're ahead, 10,763.26 overall.
Nice one.
Yeah. So, and now it's just doing entries back and forth. So it's Marla said it was a pretty good budget. So, but very tight.
I just get
Well, it doesn't,
To have a water main break.
yeah,
Somebody want to move to adopt the December financials as presented.
I'll move to adopt.
All in favor? Carried. Correspondence. Property listing for standard. Email link sent January 3rd.
yeah, one of the real estate, brokers just sent me a list of all the properties that were for sale in standard, so I just sent it in a link if you
Okay.
want to see what they're.
We want to move to accept.
That EPR timeline concern,
Yeah,
that's kind of a alarming, working with the Drumhill District Board,
Mhm.
and they're trying to get some information about the responsibilities for all the different municipalities, and the people who are involved in that are just saying, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Just sign it and we'll just get on with it, but they're resisting that.
Mhm.
Nobody's gonna sign it.
No.
Nobody's gonna sign a deal
No.
without knowing what you're signing, so
No.
that's what's happening at the Drumhill
Get it-
District Waste.
Get it figured out first.
Their executive board is working like crazy trying to get some information, and they're going to have to go up higher up into the government to get this stuff.
I think they were proceeding a little too quickly for
They're going too fast,
too fast.
So this
too
is
fast and not enough information to,
this conversation's in new business. Down the road here.
oh, is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's go back to the move to adopt correspondence as information.
All right. I'll do that.
All in favor? Carried. New business. Library board appointments.
We will table, their meeting was canceled.
I will move to table. All in favor? Carried. Congratulatory for 90th birthday.
Yeah, Al McKinnon is celebrating his birthday, 90th birthday, February 25th, so just accept his information and we'll frame it and present it to him.
Do we do that for everybody that turns 90 in the village?
If we do, if they request it, yes.
Okay. Because Mrs. Firth has turned 90 here in just beginning of December.
Oh, nobody
Nobody said
requested it.
anything?
Yeah.
No,
So,
yeah, they need to request because
Yeah.
we
We
Okay.
don't
automatically.
know when anybody's turning 90.
So
right?
if you maybe mention it to somebody to request a certificate, then we,
yeah, okay, no, just,
just maybe mention it to a
Just-
family member. Or
Yeah, we have no problem doing it.
Yeah.
We just gotta know that they're.
Yeah.
So we wanna move.
Make the motion.
All in favor?
Richard.
Carried. Already signed it, so it's a good thing. EPR timeline concerns.
Yes, this is the letter that they sent. My, whoops,
Is
sorry,
Was that the letter that was
Yeah.
being drafted to go to?
to the minister
Is it McIver? Did it go?
Corner. She's addressed it to the Minister of Finance,
Right,
Minister of
yes.
Finance, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
I just think they're going too fast, is what it is, and so they were, I think we were supposed to get curbside recycling in 2025, 26. Well, it might be
Yeah.
28,
Yeah.
29.
well, they're trying to push it too fast. Alberta and BC are the only two provinces left in the country that don't have this service going on, so. Now, I think my impression of what's going on is that they've been successful with the other provinces, so they just want to push it through. But like you're saying, we gotta know what we're gonna be responsible for and how it's gonna work before we agree to anything.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
What do you wanna move to what?
just accept as
Accept.
information. They don't require anything more from your meetings,
No,
No. Just
no,
so everybody's aware.
just make sure that it's been reported to the board here. And that's been done now, so
We want to move to accept his information.
I'll go there.
Larry, all in favor? Carried. State law press release.
So, Larry and I had discussed Saywalk before because it's kind of up there. I was gonna do some research, but then of course now a press release came out, so I asked Jen. A whole bunch of stuff came out in the last little bit. She did a little bit of research and then so I'm gonna let her report on this one. Because she was doing the.
There should be a piece of
today.
paper. There's a map for one and then a printout.
And then the
I'm
press
sorry.
release.
So on the map, just so you're aware, the green counties are counties who are members of SAWA. We pay a $282 membership annually since they incepted. And what I discovered is in a bullet form here, they start out as a nonprofit group. The mission was to find an alternative to land filling residential waste, to make it waste to energy is what they want to do. They organized themselves in 2009, but the mission started in 2013. There were 7 phases to it. We're in the final phase. I thought we were in phase 6. I told you about it earlier, but we're actually in the final phase now, or they are in the final phase. And that final phase is to select a long-term partner that will actually do the waste to energy facility. So they had a really long process. That's what was really confusing about some of these memos, is that they were going through the steps of finding this process, but they weren't giving a lot of the context around it. So in my research on their website and past memos, I figured it all out. So they had acquired they had created a rubric to do the selection process to meet criteria for a company to do this facility that would make energy from waste. That took a couple of years. And then once they had that rubric finished, they put out for anyone who had interest in doing this. So that took another 2 years. And so they finally went through their candidates, whittled it down to 3, selected one just recently. And so the candidate that they have selected is Global Green Energy Group. It's the 4th bullet, talks a little bit about them and their experience. And they will be signing an agreement with the Global Green Energy Group on January 24th. What they've sent us is a memorandum of understanding. That's the understanding that they're going to sign on the 24th. And it was included in the package. It's confidential. They asked that it stay confidential. There's some numbers and dollars in it. So as members, we're allowed to read it. But if you had specific questions to it, then you can read it and then we'll go in camera about it. But the information that's shareable is all in this bullet list and in their press release. And so at this point, there will be a facility. They use this technology, this group. There will be a facility built in Newell County. There's going to be a second facility built, very likely, I talked to the lady today, very likely out near Bow Island, I think she said. And this company will develop it, own it, run it. And then in exchange, the SAWA members, so us, have access to the discounted electricity that they put out. Then if anyone else is interested in a facility, SAWA is the facilitator to get between a member and Global Green to make that facility happen. They need 25 acres for a full functioning facility. They can work on anything down to 10 acres. She was saying it's a real economic booster for areas if you're interested. Our waste management is done through Drumheller District. Drumheller District opted out of being a member a couple years ago because they felt it was going too slow, she said. And I informed her that, with how long it's been a 11-year project, that is a very long time. And so with lots of turnover and board members and stuff, it's easy to lose track of what's happening. So, but it sounds really exciting to me. That's my little opinion. And let's see. What was the other point I wanted to make? Oh, once they are done facilitating, so they just help make sure that Global Green has some PR and some administration help at this point. Global Green takes care of all their own permits and all that kind of stuff. Once SEWA is finished helping Global Green establish and run, then SEWA is no longer needed and our annual membership is no longer necessary. So we will be paying it this year. And she said probably next year too, depending on how well
What's
the
the membership worth?
$282. Oh, and also
It's per cap.
they per capita, and Global Green is responsible for acquiring all the funding for the project for this facility build. We're not going to be asked to contribute anything to the facility build. And once they're trying to get all their funding secured by May this year, and then they will start building, and they expect to have the build complete in 1 year.
Could you ask and just find out per, like that 25 acres or per site, how many jobs that creates?
Yeah, I can ask that, sure.
Just so we can go back and say, yeah, if it was an area, it would create this many jobs for residents.
We don't have 25 acres. Unfortunately,
Mutual request.
yeah. True enough.
So there's the report.
Okay,
What kind of facility is it?
They
Is it
use
produce Noise, is it?
I don't know, I didn't ask. Their system, it says, uses a modular pyrolysis, which heats waste materials without using oxygen and captures the smaller molecular compounds to produce the renewable energies. After the process is complete, there's a less than 10% waste remains after the converting.
So
process.
it's environmentally friendly.
and smell.
I don't know.
Well,
I'm assuming that there is going to be a smell because the waste has to be transported there to begin with.
Yeah.
But I can inquire.
Yeah,
All you can do is ask questions.
More information,
yeah.
please.
Smell
You
jobs.
want to move to accept that press release as information?
I'll make that motion.
All in favor? Carried. Assessment bulletin from NACO.
Yeah, so in this bulletin that we got, it actually shows you a little schedule there of the year of the assessment and how it is increased. So I just wanted to present this information. So it's just more reading material, so you become more aware of assessments.
I'll move that as information.
All in favor? Carried. Yeah, reservation acquisition.
So our campsite did very well last year, and there's a new camp spot. No, what is it called?
Camp spot.
Camp spot is now going to be taking over. So we will need to transition to new software and stuff like that, which is not at all, doesn't cost us anything, but it's just going to take time, require some time for setup and whatnot, and move everything over to. But again, we did very well. I think there was probably a lot of people not paying before.
Yeah,
And now because they had to reserve and there was none of us involved in the middle, it the revenues was up there, so,
So
Yeah.
it's worked out beneficial.
yeah, it was,
100%.
yeah.
So is that gonna be a cost to us then to change over?
No, just our
Cost is nothing.
time, so we'll have to set up the computer, change our information at the campground and website, kind of stuff. So administration fees, right? So
But that's like
that's it.
minimal at the
Yeah.
beginning, right? And then it's done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So well worth it though.
Move to
Yeah.
accept as information. Richard, all in favor? Very arena best practices.
So again, this is more information. There was an incident in Rockford. I can let you explain that. This came out afterwards from the Wheatland County Fire chief over there, which I have forwarded on to the Ag Society. So there's a lot of good information in here. And
So the Ag Society will take it from there and make sure everything's
Yeah.
kosher.
yeah, so
So they had a exhaust vent elbow come apart on one of the heaters. And carbon monoxide in the building.
Oh, okay.
And they had a few, I'm not sure exact number of kids ended up in hospital with carbon monoxide poisoning.
No kidding.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't serious. I mean, it
Wasn't
wasn't
life-threatening.
wasn't life threatening. It's still serious, but it's unfortunately a learning moment for all of the arenas, because I'm pretty sure that 90% of arenas probably don't have any, because it's a big area, you don't think about it, right? And there's nothing mandated saying that you have to have carbon monoxide detectors. So I've had a lot of information passed on that I've asked for from them, and I've passed it all on to the Ag Society. So Brendan Christensen are looking into all that information. So
Rockyford wasn't the only, I mean, either, there was one more, I thought.
there was an ammonia leak in BC, but we have ammonia detectors, right?
Okay.
So
We
Yeah.
have them, but not everybody does.
yeah, unfortunate, but nobody died.
So when Rockyford shut down, was there people sent over here to our arena for, you know?
no,
I have no
it
idea.
wouldn't have been, yeah, we're already full.
Okay.
with
I
the
have no
schedule,
idea.
As far as I know. Mm.
I'll move for information.
All in favor? Carried. Reports, events of Mike.
The last meeting was on December 2nd, which was prior to our last meeting, so there hasn't been a update meeting. Our next meeting, I think, is on the 18th of this month. I just got the email. Let me just check it out. So just the big thing there is the manpower that has to be replaced.
So it's the first. No, that says the first
It's usually a Monday.
Monday. Or
I don't know if it's the first Monday. Maybe it's the Mondays. Oh no, it could be the first Monday.
second, because it's always before our meeting, right?
Yeah, this one, there just
Yeah.
wasn't one on right at the beginning of January.
The 13th is a Monday. Is that that's next year? 18th is a Saturday.
Yeah, so I'm trying to figure out which it is. Oh, there it is. December 16th.
Oh, January 16th or
Sorry. Oh, here we go. January 28th.
Wheatland Housing, we had no meeting last month. We had a Christmas party, which was always a very enjoyable evening for everybody, so. Next meeting is January 16th. Another district solid waste.
Last meeting was December 19th. And most of the conversation was about the EPR situation. Next meeting is February 20. Yeah, I guess I could add into that as well that the Drumheller District facilities had an inspection, and there were several little infractions that are being repaired and fixed. Simple things that can be easily misplaced and things like that. But all in all, they're in good shape. They have lots of room left to put stuff. They're good for a number of years yet.
WFCSS, Richard.
Our last meeting was before the Christmas break. We haven't had anything since, and our next meeting is January 22nd.
WRC, our last meeting was December 18th. First budget was approved, so we'll be getting that information at some point. We're doing fairly well, so yeah. Next meeting would be February 19th. Community Futures.
Community Futures again. Our meeting was for our last meeting. Just double checking. Yeah, before our last meeting. So next meeting is scheduled for tomorrow.
Library, Larry.
The last meeting was canceled due to no quorum. Next meeting is February 3.
Asset Management.
Oh, asset management. Oh, yeah. I've just been going through the asset management plan in coinciding with the budget. And so the document with the schedule for repairs, replacements, etc. I've updated it where costs are applied. I put those costs in. You don't have a copy of it. Well, actually, that one is a sample because it goes with the tractor. But I've put the actual dollar amounts in per year instead of just having X's when things occur, so that we can see each year what the amount and how it compounds and how it would be spent. So just a little bit of work on it.
Strategic planning.
Same thing. Yeah, only solar stuff I'll do at 10-11. No other update on strategic planning.
Development planning.
Nothing new, but again, just to keep in mind, I'll leave that multi-year residential property tax incentive there to think about for this year and possibly for future sales in industrial park.
That's just that multi-year, that's just upon the sale of new property. Is that correct? Or is that on anyone paying taxes could pay multi-year?
Most places that I've heard of that we talked to the gal was on new sales.
Yeah.
I can investigate more if this would apply to existing.
I don't know if we didn't even want to do that. I'm just
Yeah,
I'm curious.
that's why I had given an example of, we have given a 3-year commitment, building commitment. But if they could do their build in 1 year, means that we'll get taxes, full taxes sooner than later. Then we could apply that incentive here, right? And say, okay, we will give you, right? If you build in the first year, we'll be tax exempt for the first year or something. And then so you get
Yeah.
your taxes the second year, full taxes second year, full taxes third year, instead of waiting 3 years to get full taxes, right?
Yeah.
So it's an incentive, right?
At the point of occupancy.
So. Right, because originally a build was supposed to be done in a year, like Councillor Casey did, right? So, but now we've extended it because people are finding it's too much, right? So.
Solar proposal.
So we got word back about the grant for the feasibility study that it has passed the pre-approval stage. So now it's in the next stage is have to add to the application. So it has a little completion bar. I'm 53% complete. I have to explain more about economic benefits, social benefits, environment benefits, and that sort of stuff, and provide some more documents that demonstrate how we'll measure and measure success and the impact and all that kind of stuff. So I'm creating a lot of documents and essays. So 53%, and I want to have it finished before I would like to finish it tomorrow, but hopefully before the end of next week, and then have it submitted for the next stage.
RCMP stats.
They were in your package, right?
Ramp.
No update.
We want to move to accept reports of information.
I'll make that motion.
All in favor? Carried. Bylaws and policies. Policies submitted December 11th. Move to adopt policies from December 11th, 2024. I'm gonna move.
Sorry, you moved?
All in favor? Carried. Move to accept policies for review.
Just a small little one you can show me there.
I'll move to accept that.
I'll make that motion.
All in favor? Carried.
So it is nearing completion, and then Shelley is just going to, there's a couple numbers that will need to be changed, so everything flows together, and then we will present a whole complete new policy book, which will be reviewed annually and changed as needed.
Budget 2025 draft number 2. Funds for old fire trucks.
Yeah. Okay, so, you guys, you brought your budgets. Did everybody have a chance to look
Yeah.
through? Is there anything that you want changed or want added? The reason I have funds for the old truck is the fire department would like to know if the village would contribute to getting the truck running. I'm not quite sure how much.
So it's the old truck.
For
53.
Great.
Yes. So it needs a little work done on it to get it roadworthy. I would like to see something done with it. It's a shame to have it sit there and don't even go into a parade. I don't think it would be much.
No.
They got a local guy, I believe, is gonna look at it. I wish I knew an amount that we were. Like, did Malcolm say?
I'm thinking less than $1,000. Like it's
Total fix.
more just to get it running. It's not like doing restoration
No,
work or anything. It's just to get it running, check the brakes, all that stuff so that it is parade worthy,
Yeah.
right? So
Why do you want that running? What's the point?
Well,
What's it gonna be used for?
just parades,
parades.
Parades.
just parade. And it's very minimal to get it running.
And then
We
possibly,
can't run water out of it because the tank is toast in it.
Oh, it's for pride of the community. Community pride.
So what were they thinking? They wanted us to pay the whole amount or they just?
Just to set aside some funds.
Well, how much?
They didn't know, but like I said, I'm thinking it's gonna be well under 1,000.
Did he,
If they, and they might be able to find somebody who will, the parts anyway, they're gonna try to find somebody who will donate their time to.
did they have a
this.
date where they would be
No,
no more?
Who's they?
Fire department. Fire department?
so we can just set an amount in the budget for maybe,
Do we own the truck?
We are an owner of the truck, yes.
A owner,
The owner.
the owner.
They own it.
We do.
The village standard owns that in the truck.
Mhm. I'm sure they would put money into it themselves.
oh, yeah,
It's not just
so.
all on us.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'd like to see something put it into fix it. It's just gonna sit there and never be seen anywhere.
So we're just at discussions, we don't have to,
Yeah.
like, would you like to see like, say $1,000?
I think put 1,000 in and see what,
What
Okay,
happens?
I mean, if they don't use 1,000, then we move it somewhere else.
sure, okay. So
Do
can
we
do
have
that.
an extra $1,000 kicking around somewhere?
Yeah, I'll take a pay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Martin has just said he'll work for the first 6 months this year. For the truck.
So did Larry, I just heard it.
Mike, did you have any comments on last?
Just the first day of the budget.
Hmm?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Sean just
so,
went through them.
yep. If you have any comments or ideas, this is,
When you want to make a point about a particular line, just state the GL number so I can
Okay,
track them out.
GL 211, the council. The 2025 budget proposed is 18 grand. If we look at 23 actual is 23,000, 24 actual is 22,000. That's probably a bit low. And then I was just gonna look on here. But we don't know where we don't know where we're gonna end up in 25 yet. So we'll know for next month.
mhm.
Um,
Can I make a comment?
if you want to.
It's low because we're one counselor short. That's just how the math works out. It calculates per meeting, per committee, for this, for that. And since we're not having an election until October, most of the year it's gonna be just 4 instead of 5, so we don't have to.
It's all this meetings.
Oh, okay.
So
So the
Yeah.
primary drop will be this meeting and then all of
And then
the
the-
other outside meetings are accounted for.
Yeah.
So till October, we are with the cancers. And we still have not entered in, some of the remuneration from
Yeah.
December, so we haven't got those actuals in
Yeah,
yet. so-
it can totally change, yeah, but that's how that number
Yeah.
got to be low.
And then in this here where it says property taxes brought in, so it's GL 100 sub. Doesn't have a sub.
No, it doesn't, property taxes doesn't, it's okay.
So it's going like in 23 is 612, 24 is 613. And then in 25, it's saying 697. There's a red box around it.
Mhm.
So I'm just hoping that's not a planned rate change.
No, so this is where we're looking at playing with the budget and getting that 697 down. We need to reduce that amount,
Right.
so.
So that you're saying that 697, that's kind of current costs that are, so there's a funding.
Against revenues.
Yeah.
Until we know more about, if we sell some lots here, then that could be added to the budget. As soon as I know what our, I think you did put in my, operating grant is in 2025.
I think we put in, yeah.
Yeah, because it's a set amount. Yeah, it is in there. So until we know a few more of those things, then we will, yeah. But definitely, I have had 2 different phone calls about property,
Mhm.
to sell for lots. And,
This year?
yeah,
Okay.
yes, since I've been back, yeah,
Yeah, because our revenue last year was like 48,000, something like that.
what's that?
Wasn't it 48,000 if I recall?
For lot sales,
Lots,
because
yeah.
we had sold one, so we knew for sure. What you know for sure, you can put in the budget. What you don't know, you can't put in.
Well, that's not, like, we
Yeah.
need to budget, we need to
Yeah.
put in here what we estimate our revenues to be, right?
Yes,
Like we need to estimate. So what do we think we're gonna sell? 1 lot, 2 lot, 3 lots? So I think we need to put that
I see
in
what
here.
you're saying.
Right, we need just to put a guess in there. I mean, we don't know 100% if it's true or not. But we got to plan. We should
Yeah.
budget to sell a couple, don't you think?
Oh, yeah, at least.
I mean, that's.
I think we would sell too.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that would be a fair budget. If we sell more, great. If we don't,
Mhm.
then yeah, then we'll have to tighten up somewhere else in the year.
Mhm.
Yeah, let's put, that's for next one, put something lot. Yeah, right.
Mhm.
Because if you've had 2 people call already and we're, what, 8 days in or whatever.
It's gonna happen. I got a good feeling about it.
Yeah. And I just wanted to look at this, like under roads, GL 232 roads sub 110.
Mhm.
So in 23, we're at 47.6. 24 budget was 57, as at is under that. So we'll find out next month where we're at. Say it come in. And then the proposed for 25 is 61,250. So if I look at 23 at 47,670, and I go to 25, so that's the supervisor plus assistant is 61,250. That's a 28% increase over 2 years. I think the last year was like 18% increase or something like that. So it's just, we got to figure out, that seems a bit, that excessive, that's an excessive
For the public
increase.
works,
Yeah.
yeah, because Brian, we never, Brian was on his own.
Mhm,
And then last year we did bring in part-time help.
mhm.
And then so this year we're streaming for the same type of service because the village was very well looked after last year with memory lane and the campground. Everything ran smoothly.
And I think last year he only worked 8 months, so we hired him in April.
March, he was in March, so he was short a couple
That's
of
part of
months,
it.
yeah, so it wasn't quite a full year, but then Brian wasn't a full year either, right? So
right.
there was, yeah, kind of overlapped a little bit there, but not much. But their overall budget was under from 2024, because that's final number would be here, a little under budget. Yeah, the parts that get us is, well, doing asset management and planning and putting away reserves is like last year and this year. And I think moving forward, it will get easier and easier every budget, right?
Yeah, the growth in cost for operations is just not sustainable. Like we can't be growing at 14% per year in cost. Right? And then this, so under, on the next page, I think it's it's a sub 630, it's GL 232, so it's in roads. There's equipment reserves there of 18,750.
That coincides with your paper, that purple box.
So you're planning to spend that?
No,
The plan is to transfer funds into reserves of 18,000?
as asset management, yeah.
Okay. So that,
Can I see the purple box? Thank you. So if you note on 2025 column,
Yeah,
has a new tractor listed. 11,500 is the amount that if we were to work to trade in this next tractor by 2035, then 11,500 was what we estimated would be put aside every month to then work with the trading value, keep the cost down in 2035. In 2025, that 11,500 would go towards the new tractor in addition to some of the other money set aside. I think it's down on the agenda in a little bit. New mower with a cab, which is debatable, but that was something that we discussed, and the 2,000 set aside again to complement the trading value in a 5-year rotation. And then next year would be the mower without the cab, starting its rotation. And then the garbage truck, there is no planned replacement, but 1,500 set aside. And that's sort of it's there for the garbage truck, but could be utilized where necessary. And same for the F-150, that's 1,750. Those numbers were selected just because for the rotations that we had discussed was responsible asset management fit the algorithm. If you are uncomfortable with those numbers, we can adjust them, but it impacts the rotation and the overall asset management. That's how the 18,750 came up. It is a new number. You won't see it in past years because asset management is, as a whole in the village, is improving. And so we wanted to get started managing with this budget now that we're using the information from the last 2 years of training and such.
And 18,750 actually this year, that number will go to, if we decide to go with a large tractor purchase, we'll actually probably go towards that purchase. So we do have
So is it not on the agenda for that person?
no.
Oh, I guess that's part of this budget bit, huh? Okay, there should be you have a page that shows James's pro and con list for the 2 different tractors and what his preference is. It's a 8x10 side sheet of paper. That's it. Looks like what Robert's looking at. And
And there's the quotes.
oh, yeah.
Joey's the accent.
You know why? Because I write RB on all your books.
Oh.
That's where it came from. Yeah, so that has the values, which hasn't really changed from the last document. Richard has his document from last week that provided up with the comparisons. So that's assuming that we go with the Kubota, which was 137,000. We have 30,000 in one reserve, 10,000 in the other reserve, so that's 40,000. And then this budget would contribute to it, and then there's an unrestricted reserve that can make the difference. So we could purchase the tractor without impacting the budget beyond what's already there. And then start our rotation, our 10-year trade-in, get the full value, and with the hours on the tractor and start to asset management that tractor.
There should have been the quotes.
I didn't photocopy the quotes.
I did.
So are you proposing that we move forward with changing out tractors this year?
Well, if it fits the plan, right? It's up to you to decide. James recommends switching out the tractor. That it's not heavy enough for some of what it wants to do. He came in and presented, right? He said it doesn't have the weight, I guess, and the power to do some of what it needs to do, and it requires some repair now that will make it out of commission more frequently than working. And so that's why he put the research in. I think he started in November with that, right? So when the council requested information, what would it look like if we were to lease the tractor or purchase a tractor? And then last month I gave you a document that compared the numbers, and leasing the tractor, there was no financial benefit to leasing a tractor. And it would also change the tractor brand from Kubota to John Deere. And then, so we took out the leasing option So he went and just compared the two tractors for purchase option. And the Kubota is 10,000 more than the John Deere, but the Kubota is a better quality tractor, and it's, according to James, and is more familiar. He can go to High River and sit in one and try it out if he wants to before purchase. So these are his conclusions, and I just handwrote on there which one he recommends. And at some point, it will have to be replaced. And when the tractor is replaced, we will start the rotation schedule.
I can't see us replacing it this year. I think we should hold off another year with that and just go with what we got. We got lots of stuff here we gotta do, and
It's miling out. though.
we're behind the 8 ball already. And having another expense like that,
Yeah, but the
I
thing
wouldn't be in
is,
favor of
the
that.
thing is with that tractor, it's gonna start costing us more.
Yeah, already.
I'm just stating my opinion.
So
That's what I'm doing.
when we put the money into it, just so you have the full picture, there's $30,000 already in reserve for a tractor replacement. There's $10,000 in reserve for the garbage truck replacement, which doesn't need to be used right now. So that's 40,000 in our reserved for trucks. And then Yvette said there's about 200 or so thousand in an unrestricted reserve account. So the 40,000 plus another 90,000 from the unrestricted account would cover the cost of this tractor without impacting the budget.
Well,
And there's
but
the
it
trade-in
impacts the
too.
reserves, right? Then you were choosing to.
Yeah,
spend
it
money on a
impacts the
tractor
reserves, but it's
Instead of,
like this number won't change on here. It won't. That's all I want to make clear.
Yeah.
And then we put in the asset management, and so then we start building the reserves by $18,000 every year for a rotation, right? So then in 10 years, whether you get the tractor this year or not, let's say you get the tractor in 5 years, right? Still in 5 years, we would start an asset management rotation that in 10 years, the tractor would be ready for trade-in value. And we would have money saved up in our reserves that would apply towards the new tractor, given the trade-in value and what we saved up. And will still probably cost us a little bit outside of that because it's going to be expensive, but it'll be a cushioned. So that's how the asset management starts.
My other thought is whatever we spend on our tractor currently now is essentially lost funds.
well, it's all a matter of where you're putting it, right? So if you're fixing an old tractor, you're maintaining, it's just repair and maintenance. So if you spent $20,000 fixing this tractor in one annual budget, that's less than spending $100,000 on getting a new tractor, right?
Yes, but as a mechanic, you're looking at though, if we spend 20,000 this year to keep it going and operating, there's no guarantee that 20,000 is going to continue any longer. That could get it running for this year. Then we still have to spend the set amount next year.
It
to
would buy
get-
us time for a year is what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like any piece of equipment that gets older.
Oh, yeah, no, it's,
Your R&M can trend up. And it looked like the R&M, we did see some trending on it. What were you, there was something like $9,000 spent or something on R&M budgeted for this year.
Roads and maintenance.
with the on the tractor, on the equipment.
252, are you? No.
We spent, I believe there was
Yeah, Contract
3,500. Let me go get the GL.
contract R&M,
Oh, Bruce Lee
if
tractor,
it's all,
250.
if it's correct in here and it's all captured, it's 5,823. 24 was 7,500.
Yeah.
It looks like we're gonna come in around 9,800, so we spent a little bit more than we thought.
Yeah, and you can look at directly the tractor repair line, right? In the 2024, we budgeted 5,000 for tractor repair specifically and spent 7,680 actually in 2024. So the budget for tractor repair in 2025 is 8,000. And that would be all the tractors, not just the big tractor, right? That's
Right.
Any tractor.
Yeah, no, that's what I thought.
Well, it's a good point, Richard. I mean, at some point, there's diminishing returns, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and the thing that, so every year we keep it, the trade-in value goes down another 5,000, probably 3 to 5.
Yeah,
And then your price of your other tractors, they're not stopping going up.
no,
That
that's true.
scares me, right?
Yeah,
Cause I
but
know
there's
what
always-
this tractor, what these tractors were 5 years ago.
Yeah, but there's gonna be someone who buys this tractor, right, that we sell, the trade-in value, that's why it's gonna get, someone's gonna buy and operate this tractor. And so someone is of an economic mindset that this used tractor is better for them than the new
Well,
one.
it
that
might
we're
be
gonna-
better that we sell it
Right.
privately,
That might be the case.
right?
What I'm arguing is there's always gonna be people who don't buy new, right?
Mhm.
Like, we don't have to buy new, and we can maintain old equipment, right?
Yeah, it's just our equipment is, so we either got attachments that are oversized or our equipment's undersized, like,
Yes.
that's the problem we have now, right? So.
Yeah.
And it's just putting a lot of stress on that tractor with that equipment that we have.
Yeah. Should we look at used tractors? Like $100,000 is just it's a 10% of our total
Well, and what-
budget. We
what
haven't
cons-
saved money for it.
What concerns me is we're using a piece of farm equipment to do snow removal. Right? We could keep this old tractor and run it till it is just done. And use it for mowing, basically, right? 3-point hitch mowing. We could buy actual snow removal equipment that would probably drop time in half of snow removal.
Like a proper load.
Like a loader or a truck with a blade. I'll tell you what, I'm just gonna tell you, I was using a payloader.
Mhm.
Which probably has 4 times the amount of snow capacity in the bucket than the tractor here.
Mhm.
And it's designed for the weight. I still have it, but we went to a V plow. 8 or 7 position V plow and then used F550.
Are you talking, like, where are you?
In Rockford.
In Rockford.
And I can do that town in half the time with that V plow
On a 550.
on an F550. And we found that truck and sanding unit that's on it used,
Yeah.
and we put the blade on it. We use bolts still.
Yeah.
But it is way more efficient than a tractor in a bucket.
Oh, for sure. Blades are. But we do have a rear blade mount. I'm wondering if we should look at a used tractor.
Well, what would it hurt to? I'm sure Kubota and John Deere have used tractors.
Like the big thing here, and I agree with that, if we can't utilize the implements because we're undersized. So if size is the issue, because the tractor's not worn out, not by a long time. And we've been welding it back together. It's got a problem with the transmission, right? It needs some detailed repairs. But if we trade that in for a bigger used one with less hours, maybe that's something that's more
I
intelligent.
don't think that's a bad idea to look for a used one because I don't know why we gotta buy new.
Didn't we present one at one of the meetings?
I don't know.
Feel like we would have, because it's not like us to not consider used, but that might have been
Yeah.
several months ago. So
Yeah,
The used market will
Okay.
change quite quickly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, every week it changes.
Yeah, and
Because-
especially coming out of this snow season, like the best time to buy snow equipment is in the spring.
they had sent pictures and the thing was like immaculate.
I think we should look
Yeah.
into
Okay.
more.
Okay,
Because I agree, $100,000, even if we have it, it's not gonna affect our budget. If we could get a used one or proper equipment, right?
Yeah, the challenge I see with, like, if our reserves are 200,000, if we blow 100,000, cut our reserves in half.
so no, you have 400 in your reserves. 200 is restricted, which you have allocated
Yeah.
here, okay?
And then 200 in unrestricted.
Yeah, which is interest that you burned on that money or funds that never really
Yeah.
got moved out, but
Yeah.
wasn't needed, so we just leave
Yeah.
it there to earn a higher interest
Well,
rate.
I think let's look into getting some price from some new, see if we can find.
Okay.
Put down costs, and we're gonna put You gotta put money out other places that,
Yeah, but this is in reserves that is set aside for this particular equipment, right?
No, I think,
We're not gonna take this reserve and put it into computers.
no, I think Larry's just saying that if we put that lump of money into a tractor where we could get a used tractor and keep some of the money for
Yeah,
other stuff.
and get it going towards other things that we need to be doing.
doesn't hurt.
Like getting that road through and improving access to the properties that we're gonna be selling. That kind of thing, I think is.
That is not
in my
going,
mind.
that money will not go to roads. That reserve money will not be put into roads.
Okay, well,
That's just, it doesn't go there. Roads and maintenance, right?
where does it go?
If you put a
Well,
reserve
that's usually
into
after
equipment,
using that money.
well, that's why it's in reserves for that particular stuff, right?
Except for the 200 that's not specified. So there's 200 not specified.
And we're not gonna put a road and sewer and water into off Frederick down there for $200,000.
No.
I'll tell you that right now. We're gonna be close to $1 million.
No, and when the first step in my mind is just the gravel road, like a gravel road access, maybe a sidewalk. Because I mean, it's just like any other small town. If we don't have digging up a gravel road to put in infrastructure is no big deal. We do it all the time.
Yeah. Well, anyways, we're not,
Okay, we'll,
get a price on it.
any other thoughts on the budget or?
Nope.
Yeah, just if we can if we can estimate what what we think our revenues might be. Because there's just some in here that
Well, there was a couple of questions I had, like on the WRC. And I can't find it.
242, I think, or 241.
241. It's water.
241 is water. So page.
Pretty in the top.
Not really that. No. Why, oh, it was on garbage. Why are we at 123% in the red?
So the way the math is, it just is a division to get the percent. And it's not 123, it's 23. When it hits that 100 mark, it turns red. But the way the formula works on an Excel spreadsheet is that if I designate it outside of a percent, then it gives me this massive decimal.
So that's all of these red ones are.
All the red ones are where
Okay.
if it hits 100, it turns red, and then just look at the tens place, 23%, 15%, whatever.
Okay.
That's how it
No,
goes.
that was confusing me because I was looking at the numbers.
Yeah, I tried to fix
Percent
that.
didn't
but I
make
couldn't.
sense.
Sorry.
Okay,
No, that'd be a little shocking.
Oh, it's in the garbage ones?
well, it's on all of them, like.
Yeah, the reds
Yeah.
are over 100. It's where we broke even with what we planned, and then we went 23% more.
yeah, I mean
That's where.
I don't think that's what it means, right? Like if you're
Yeah.
just 23%
Yeah.
over in the
Yeah,
red.
he thought it meant 123% over.
Oh,
Yeah,
So the 622%.
Oh, that one is
yeah, that
big. What one is that?
because that's 6,000 versus 1,000, right?
Like then.
Oh, the insurance and other.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what happened again. That was from.
yeah, I've never seen that many, I've never seen that many red.
I can turn them purple, it's less.
No, it's all right. They were blue.
Should be green.
Green.
No,
Okay.
Red usually means bad.
Yes. Okay, so we move to accept budget draft 2 for review.
We'll bring the changes in the next meeting.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking to price on these.
Okay,
I'll move to accept. All in favor? Carried. Counselors' concerns. Richard.
I had one person ask me about with the, and I'm sorry, this might have been discussed at December's meeting, about the snow removal for the piles and that. How come they're not just coming down and putting it down by memory lane where they've got the irrigation already set up for melting snow?
so he's bringing it into the campground so he can stock around the new trees and stuff. So everywhere we got trees, we're piling more for extra great water in the spring.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've only really had that one major snowfall that was, and then those got moved around or piled.
Yeah, because the question they had asked was just because there was a bunch outside of Peter's place and kind of the top of the hill, and then they had moved it. And they're like, well, if he's paneled there to then be moved, why doesn't he just go down to the road and just the extra stuff? I can understand stuff with the trees, the extra stuff, just push it into the ditch where the rock work is already done for Memory Lane, where all the irrigation's already
Yeah.
set.
Well, I believe he's pushed where he can, and then, like I said, the ones on the Broadway and stuff, those piles, he actually just took to the camp.
Okay.
And put there for the trees in the spring, so.
Yeah, that's fine. No, that
Yeah.
was a question was asked.
Okay, so just,
Larry?
No.
Mike?
No,
Well, I do have one. So the broom on the tractors, we broke down.
the small tractor, the cab tractor is broke down,
Okay.
so,
Like that one text I asked, can you let people know that, you see, this is the
Oh,
problem with
no,
us?
he is still doing the sidewalks.
Okay,
Yeah, he's just using the other tractor.
okay.
Yeah, I know.
Well, this is with us doing the sidewalks, when we have a breakdown and we can't do it, people still only have 24 hours to go out and do it after a snow.
Yeah.
That's the problem, because they now expect it, right? So that's my only thing.
Yeah.
So, okay, I'm done.
No, yeah, I gave him he said no, he was gonna.
Well, we're $300 an hour over there to do one residence
Hmm,
if you don't shovel your sidewalk.
hmm.
So.
Well, he
$300.
put the equipment on the other tractor
Okay.
and bundling up and getting out there.
Okay, closed session,
No close session.
nothing there. So we want to move to adjourn. Richard. Perfect. We're done.
Fine.
9:02.
so on
I'll
that,
put you on
Richard.
Don't date yourself.
I'm gonna go home and watch that
on
video.
this, I tried, this is,
Oh.
I brought